Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for being here today. As always, if you are new here and you are interested in true crime, tarot readings, unsolved mysteries, missing persons cases, please consider subscribing. I do try to upload at least once a week, and for those of you who come back every week, I thank you so much and I appreciate all of you. Also, private tarot readings are always available. All you have to do is reach out, email me. I will have all of the information for that in the description box if you are interested. And on a side note, I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend. We had a great weekend here. The weather was beautiful in Indiana for a change. Today it's cold and rainy and kind of gloomy, but yesterday it was really beautiful, so I'm appreciative for that. But anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and going into a wonderful week. So, like I said, today's reading was a requested video, and it is the case of Anne-Elisabeth Hagen. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce their name. This does take place in Norway, so it could be Hagen. I'm not sure, but we have Anne-Elisabeth Hagen, who disappeared not too long ago. This is a fairly recent case. It's ongoing right now. There's been some updates in the investigation, but we have a whole complex of we just have a bunch of stuff going on in this case. We've got cryptocurrency, we've got the dark web, obscure money trails, just like Hollywood type things going on here. But I don't want to, I don't know the story enough to really kind of give a summary, but I do have it open here on the internet, and so I'm going to just read you the update and kind of give you an idea of the background, because I didn't prepare an intro background or anything like that, so I just wanted to wing it. But let me just start reading here, and then we'll get into the reading. All right, so Anne-Elisabeth has, hold on, am I starting at the beginning? No, I'm not. Let me scroll up to the top. That would help. All right. Norwegian police have released new details about a suspected kidnapping case linked to $9 million in cryptocurrency ransom. The disappearance of 68-year-old Anne-Elisabeth Hagen, the wife of a wealthy real estate investor and one of Norway's richest men, has baffled investigators for nearly 3 years. Investigators have been unable to unravel who is behind this shadowy plot, which involves cryptocurrencies, coded messages, the dark web, and a multimillionaire and his missing wife. Now, the head of the investigation has appealed for help from the public after revealing new details in the case. So, Anne-Elisabeth Hagen disappeared without a trace from the small town of Lørenskog, Norway. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. In October 2018, a ransom letter demanding $9 million in cryptocurrency was subsequently discovered at the Hagen's home. Anne-Elisabeth was the wife of Tom Hagen, one of Norway's richest men. He has been described in the press as a low-profile property and energy tycoon with an estimated net worth of $1.9 billion. After initially suspecting kidnapping, police later changed their theory to a murder cover-up. Last year, Tom Hagen and a man in his 30s were charged with the murder in connection with this case. So they were actually charged. I believe he was arrested. At the time of Tom Hagen's arrest in April of 2020, so just a couple of years ago, police told the media they believed that there was no abduction, and that there had never been a counterparty seeking any ransom. In other words, the police believe that the case is characterized by a clear, planned deception, obviously involving the husband. So according to VG, I don't know what VG stands for, but I'm assuming some news network in Norway. According to VG, both of the men are still charged and deny any wrongdoing. Yahoo Finance UK has contacted Sven Holden, Tom Hagen's lawyer, for comment, but he did not respond in time for publication. Anne-Elisabeth has still not been found to this day. And the inspector revealed for the first time new details of the exact steps the person or persons behind the plot took to arrange the cryptocurrency ransom and communicate with police. So they're talking about new details include coded messaging, a VPN was used to obscure whereabouts, another cryptocurrency Dash was used to obscure the money trail. Let me see. And the people or persons behind the plot used a stolen identity to set up accounts on cryptocurrency exchanges. So I don't want to get too much more into it. Well, let me read this part. Hagen was last heard from when she made a phone call to her son at 9:14 a.m. on June 28, 2018. Tom Hagen reported her missing that day. A crucial piece of early evidence was a threatening letter left on a chair in the hallway of the Hagen's home. The letter demanded Tom Hagen send $9 million in Monero, or Monero, a cryptocurrency, to the apparent kidnappers and gave detailed instructions on how to do so. Some more details have now come to light about the letter. Hansen said it contained a link to a document on pasted.com or pasted.co, a site popular among hackers that lets people share plain text. A password was given to access this document. Norwegian police believe this suggests that the kidnapping was planned well in advance. All right, so yeah, I don't want to go too much into all of that, but we've got a crazy case here. So we've got money. We've got, I believe Tom and Anne had been married for, I think it was close to 40 years. They married at a very young age, and he was not wealthy like that in the beginning. This is something that came later. And like it said in the article, they were really low profile. They lived in what you would consider a somewhat normal house for people who are worth 1.8 billion or whatever it was. So, you know, what's going on? Was she kidnapped? Was there actually a true ransom? Or is Tom involved with this? Because Tom, I believe, when he first reported his wife missing, he was working with the police. I believe that the letter, that first ransom letter that was left, had instructions to Tom to not contact the police, which he did anyways. So they all kind of kept it under wraps. This did not come out to the public right away. I believe that Anne's family, neighbors, co-workers, people in the business, none of them knew that Anne had been quote-unquote kidnapped. They kept it under wraps, and Tom was telling everybody that she was out of town. So it wasn't a few months after she went missing that they weren't making any headway with the ransom, and so the police finally decided to go public and tell people what was going on. So let's see what's happening here, because we do have kind of a, it seems like the police have a theory that Tom is involved with her disappearance somehow. So let's see what's going on in the life of Tom and Anne-Elisabeth Hagen and what could have taken place on that day that she went missing. All right, so I'm going to actually go ahead and start with my Heaven and Earth Tarot deck. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my reversals. It was the full moon this weekend, and so I did put my cards up on the windowsill and went through them and straightened them all out and put everything right side up. So I have no reversals, and I like to have reversals in there. All right, so what happened? What happened that morning? What's going on in the life of Tom and Anne-Elisabeth Hagen? All right, what's going on here? Tell us the story. Tell us the story of what happened that morning. Okay, we have a couple that fell out here. Let's see what we got. Okay, well, we have the Eight of Swords, and we have the Six of Cups, and of course, everything, the light. Okay. Okay. Now, I know that's a mental card, but I will say that regardless of who's responsible for Elizabeth or Anne-Elisabeth's disappearance, I do believe that she could have been held captive. She could have been taken somewhere against her will. Okay, so definitely I believe she was taken. Taken by who is the question of the day. All right. We have the King of Wands. The High Priestess. We have the Tower card. All right, yeah. We've got money, family. We have the King of Pentacles. That's going to be your husband. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have heartbreak, so we've got some heartache here. Okay, we've got the Princess. Let me pull this bottom one. And then we've got the Ten of Cups. Okay, so we've got, well, let me just tell you with the Tower card, for me, and this is just me personally, when I pull the Tower card reversed, it's something that's already happened, okay? It's not something that's going to happen. It's something that is already happening or has happened, and we're still dealing with the consequences of that thing, okay? In this case, it's her disappearance. It's what happened to her, and I will, and of course, I have to say this is entertainment, right? We have to say that, but I do believe that that was the beginning of the end for Anne-Elisabeth, okay? That was when her world came crashing down. Okay, so we've got that. That started out right away. That came out right away. We've got a couple of influential men, okay? We have the King of Pentacles and we have the King of Wands. I actually believe that this is, both of them are Tom. So Tom is the King of Pentacles, so we've got the money, right? But he's also, look at that. He's also fierce. He is not one, I mean, I'm sure he got rich, not by being, you know, anything but that, right? I mean, he is determined. This is a man with a mission. When he wants something, he gets it, no matter what. I mean, I just look at that and the fire and the lion. To me, this is Tom. This is Tom who, when he wants something, he gets it, no matter how he has to get it. And it just so happens that he's loaded as well, so that kind of helps out sometimes. So interesting that we've got Anne-Elisabeth coming up right away, showing that she was taken against her will someplace. The beginning of the end, her world falling apart, and then we've got the husband coming out right next. Okay. And these aren't necessarily coming out, well, they're not coming out reversed, but he is coming out regardless. And then we have the Six of Cups. So we have, I feel like there were good times, okay? There were good times in this relationship, but something happened. Something happened, because that goes with this Tower card too. So something's going on. And, you know, this is the money card, wealth, money. They had it all. They had happiness. I believe that they had happiness at one point. They had money. They had material things. They had everything that they needed. It was once really good. It was once really good. But this is a nostalgic card. This is a memories card. This is looking back, okay? This is the past. And so when this card is coming up around all of these cards, all these, like this happiness, that was the past. So I do believe that there was a time where things were really good between the two of them, and then something happened. And I say that because of this one. Okay, so something happened. There was heartbreak. There was betrayal. This is serious heartbreak. This isn't like something minor. This is something that was really devastating, and it was heart-wrenching. We've got 3. So are we talking about 3 people here? Well, so far I know of 2. I know of Anne-Elisabeth and Tom. So, you know, who's that third sword represent? Okay, are we talking about possibly someone having an affair somewhere? Possibly. It's sitting right next to my King of Wands. Well, I take that back. It's sitting next to my Nine of Pentacles. So I have to wonder if one of these, because I do believe that the Nine of Pentacles was Anne-Elisabeth. Okay. So I have to ask myself, who is this third person, and what is their involvement with this? Why are they coming up? And whoever this is caused heartbreak within this union, because like I said, at one point it was a good union. They were together. They were happy. They were a happy family. I'm assuming that they have children. I think I read that they have children. So this was them at one point. They were fulfilled. They were content. And then we have the Princess of Cups. So I just asked who was this third person, because at this point I feel like there is a third party involved with one of these people, whether it's Anne or Tom. But this Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, and it is a Cups card, makes me feel like we're leaning more towards Tom, okay? Because this is a female. This is a young female. And this young female came into this happy home, this situation, and pretty much just devastated it all, okay? It caused a whole bunch of controversy. This is someone younger, okay? So I'm surprised that I'm surprised that Anne-Elisabeth hasn't come out as a queen, but she is coming out as the Nine of Pentacles, and that is, that kind of goes, that actually makes me feel like there wasn't really an equal balance between Tom and Anne-Elisabeth. There was almost like he was the one in charge. He was the one that ran the home, ran the business. It wasn't like she was considered his equal. And I feel like that was coming from him. He put her in that position. She was not at the same level as far as hierarchy is concerned inside that home. And, I don't know if he was the type where, I'm thinking of the fact that the article mentioned that they were low profile. And I said that they had a somewhat normal home for people who were very extremely wealthy. Was that because they were low profile, or was that because Tom is cheap? Unless Tom wants to spend money on something he wants to spend money on. But I'm starting to wonder now if it wasn't just that they were low profile, it was just that Tom did not like to spend money. Because I have a feeling with her coming out, with Anne-Elisabeth coming out as this one here, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he watched what she spent, if maybe on large purchases he had to be he had to approve of it. But this is not equal to a king, okay? This is not equal to a king. And so that's why at first I wasn't even sure if it was Anne, but it is Anne. It's Anne, but she's not coming out equal to him for whatever reason. And I think it's that was done intentionally by him as a means of control. So we have this young lady here, the Page of Cups, new interest coming into his life that just caused all sorts of devastation. And then we have the High Priestess up here. So this is all about, I feel like this is a feminine card. This is a feminine energy. So I feel like Anne-Elisabeth knew something was going on. She knew about this. This is all about intuition, knowing, feeling, things like that, okay? Feminine, she knew as a woman, as a wife. They had been married for how many decades? Almost 40 years. She knew her husband, and she knew when things weren't right, okay? So I have no doubt that she probably absolutely knew that something was going on with Tom, knew of the situation. It was devastating. Okay, it was devastating to her. Things just weren't like they used to be. There was happy memories that she had, but they just weren't. Things had just went sour, and they went sour quickly. So interesting first pull. Already we've got a relationship already coming out. All right, so okay. All right, so I feel with that Eight of Swords, she was taken somewhere. So I want I want to know if we can get some information about exactly who is behind her disappearance and where was she taken, but we'll take those one at a time. So where were you taken that morning? What happened? Tell us what happened to you that morning. All right, so we have the Three of Cups. We have Temperance reversed. Three of Cups is also reversed. The Ace of Pentacles is reversed. We have the Sun card. We have the Emperor reversed. That's Tom as well. We have the Seven of Swords. So we have lies. The Ace of Cups. That's that relationship. The King of Cups reversed. That's Tom again. We have the Knight of Wands. That's somebody, I think, that's involved. And we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. I don't know who that is. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So leaving behind, walking behind. All right. So let me see here where to start. I do believe that this is also Tom. Okay. Have I had all kings up? No. I think I was missing. I think I'm only missing the King of Swords. If I pull the King of Swords, then he is coming up with to me he's coming up as all of these kings, or all of these kings represent him. I don't feel like they represent other people. I feel like if anybody else was involved, it would be that Knight of Wands, okay? But I think that he's coming up as the one in charge. Now, the Emperor, to me, when he comes out reversed, like he did, that's a nasty guy, okay? That's a nasty guy to me. And remember what I said about controlling, okay? Making sure that Anne-Elisabeth is in her place, so to speak. I feel like that actually goes quite well with the Emperor reverse, because this is somebody who is very controlling, very demeaning. I think that he was actually quite... to me, it almost seems like he was rather mean to her. He wasn't always that way. They had good times, but he didn't treat her very well. He was the boss. He looked at himself as the boss at work and the boss at home and the boss in the relationship, in the marriage. Okay, so he's coming up a lot. So my point is that if he's coming up as all of these kings and all of these kings are coming up, then I do believe that he plays a pivotal role in Anne-Elisabeth's disappearance, okay? There could be other people involved. I'm picking up at least one other person right now, this Knight of Wands. So this is someone who is kind of like a mini Tom, okay? This is somebody who wants to follow in his footsteps, somebody that looks up to Tom, somebody that would do anything that he wants him to do, okay? And we have that right underneath the sun. Do we have a son involved in this? Because I can't fathom that. I cannot fathom. I know that they're children. I do know that they have children. I don't know how many. She was, 68? So I'm assuming that these children are grown. I don't know if it's daughters, sons, one of each, two of each. I have no idea. But I have this Knight of Wands, and I said this is like a mini Tom because he came out. Remember, Tom came out as that King of Wands. So this is like a younger version of Tom. And it came out right underneath the sun. Right underneath the sun. So, I mean, I've heard crazier things, right? But I'm kind of wondering the relationship between Anne-Elisabeth and all of the children. I don't know if any information has come out on the children. I don't know if they've come out and spoke for or against their father. I don't know if they support him or at all. I don't know what the relationship is with this couple and their children, but I'm actually questioning whether or not one of these children is involved, or at least is aware of what is going on. They know what's happening. Yeah, that's that's odd. When I look at the picture of Anne-Elisabeth, to me she looks like a normal, loving woman. I don't know personally, but I don't pick up any negative images or any negative vibes from her at all. So if you have a child, or a situation with a child that turns against his mother like that, I have to look at the father and what kind of psycho is Tom Hagen, because if there is a child that was willing to turn against his mother and cover for his father, that would be because that child was completely and utterly possibly brainwashed from the father. I feel like this is a lot deeper in the household than what we know or suspect. Tom is something else. Okay, I forgot to put that back upside down. So Tom is something else. He's not a good guy at all. He's not a good guy at all. And I have to wonder if there's one child that is following in his father's footsteps. Huh. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. And it's interesting that the Queen of Wands comes up right next to that Knight of Wands. So I'm looking at this as like mother, okay? I do feel like there was some level of Tom, I think, was demeaning to Anne-Elisabeth. He was very demeaning, and he liked to see himself as the person in charge, which is why she came out as that Nine of Pentacles. But this Queen comes out next to the Knight. So I feel like this is actually Anne-Elisabeth, and this is a child. This is her son. Okay. That's just another connection of blood. If you look at these four cards, we have the son, and I'm taking that literally as in the son, the child. Right next to his father, the reversed Emperor. Right below his father is the mother, the Queen of Wands. And then right there below the sun is the Knight of Wands. So we've literally got a family right here. We've got this family. And then we've got also the King of Cups reversed. I think that this is also Tom. Tom is his emotions are, there's something going on. There's something going on with Tom. His emotions were not right at this time, and maybe hadn't been right for a while. Right next to that, we have the Ace of Cups. So that, to me, makes me think back to that Page of Cups. Okay, something new. This is something new. This is something that is a new beginning of sorts. So I'm thinking new relationship, new lease on life. There's possibly maybe boredom in the marriage, and he's 68, 70. I don't know how old I know she was 68. I'm not sure how old he was, but you've got a situation where he is a billionaire, right? He has all the money in the world to do whatever he wants. I feel like there's another relationship, but his feelings, his emotions were all out of whack. He was confused as well. Confused about his feelings towards his wife and the new feelings that were developing for someone else. And he was being deceitful. So the Seven of Swords tells me that he was definitely being deceitful, but the fact that it was reversed, it comes out reversed, okay, makes me feel like it wasn't unnoticed. Okay, he didn't get away with it. So when it comes out reversed, for me, again, it's something that has happened. He's being deceitful, but he was also caught. Okay, so I feel like, again, it goes with that High Priestess. I feel like Anne-Elisabeth knew something was going on. She knew what was happening. She wasn't dumb. She knew exactly what was happening. And then again, we have another 3. So we got three's company, right? We got celebration. This is the opposite of celebration. This is no celebration. This is no reason to celebrate. So we have we have three people. Three people are, involved in this, and I do believe it's now 3 people could be Anne, the father, Tom, and the son, or 3 people can be Anne, Tom, and a lover. And I have a feeling that the main 3 are Anne, Tom, and a lover because of all of the relationship cards. We've got the Ace of Cups, we have the Knight of Cups, or not the Knight of Cups, but we have the Page of Cups, we have the Heartbreak card. So I feel like all of these things are kind of involving a relationship of sorts. So I think we have an affair going on with Tom. Okay, Tom and someone else. And literally that is what... Well, hold on, let me not go to that one yet. But yeah, so Temperance reversed. Things were just... It just... Whoever this person is, okay, whoever this woman is, this younger woman, I would say younger woman because of the page, she literally... I think that there was something already somewhat unstable with Tom. But when she came onto the scene, it literally just messed up everything. It just threw everything out of whack, which is what that Temperance is. It just made this household volatile between Tom and Anne-Elisabeth. And then we have this Ace of Pentacles. So this Ace of Pentacles, to me... I have to wonder if this is an ultimatum. I'm going to stick this one aside because this pentacle here can represent so many different things. It can actually be the relationship. It's a material, right? So it's something, it's sometimes I feel like it can spread beyond material. But it's something. It represents something. I'm not sure if this is the relationship. I'm not sure if it's involving actual literal money. But it's coming out reverse. So it's like there was something. This is something, but it ended up... I feel like we're talking about the relationship, this new relationship. Like it was something promising, but it didn't turn out that way. Nothing went according to how it was going to go. Okay, so if you look at it this way, you've got a pentacle or this item or this situation being given to you by the creator, right? Coming out of the clouds. We've got the sun streaks behind it, so it's representing something good, something positive. We've got an archway, a door, so that's the opportunity. You're getting ready to experience something, go down a path. So that's the way I look at this card. It's something that just comes into your life when it's needed, and it's something good. But when it comes out reversed, then either things don't go as planned, or it wasn't the right time, or it wasn't, something that was thought out thoroughly, whatever the case may be. But what you thought it wasn't. So was this a plan? Okay, was this a plan? A new plan that was, hatched, and it just did not go. It didn't flow. It did not flow as well as it was meant to. Things didn't turn out. Is that because he is now suspected? Tom, he's been arrested for it. He's been accused of knowing something or being involved in the disappearance of his wife. So maybe these two things here are the whole plan, the whole thing itself not going the way it was supposed to. That's kind of where I'm leaning with it. Okay, again, when I say plan, then that makes me think this was in fact premeditated. So let me go ahead and let me pull a couple more cards with this deck. Okay. All right. So how many people are involved with this crime? How many people are involved with this crime? We've got the Knight of Cups again. Huh. Okay. This right here is all of the communication that has happened in this case. This is the emails, the cryptocurrency, the transactions, the communication, the letters, whatever. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of factors at play here. So this is what that is. And this to me tells me that there's at least several people, several key players in this situation, and they all have a role. Okay, they all have a role, and we're talking about somebody who is a billionaire, right? So I actually feel like he could have many people on a payroll, and they all each have their own expertise in something. And so I believe that there are several people involved in this, and they all have a role in it somehow, some way. And we have Tom here as the number one Uno guy, okay, in charge, right? The Six of Wands, the hero, the person that everybody looks up to. So I would guess there's at least several at this point. I don't necessarily know if it's 8, but there's at least a small handful of people that are involved in this. Definitely more than 2. Okay, so I know that the article said that Tom and a 30-year-old man unnamed were arrested, right? I don't think that they're still in jail. I think that he bailed out or something. No shock there, but I don't know who this person is. But I do feel like there's more than 2. But they don't have it's like literally this card. It's like everybody's in the wind. There's no tracing to anyone. They can't figure out who these people are. Literally, they're in the wind. The information comes in, they get the information, but they can't trace who it's going back to. So I do believe that the techniques, if you will, that were used in this case are proving to be very challenging for the police. I don't know if I almost feel like the arrest was premature, and maybe they didn't have all of their I's dotted and their T's crossed before making that arrest, because there's a whole lot of information that they have not been able to get and narrow down. I think with that Knight of Cups, it was just almost a little bit too soon, just a little bit too soon to arrest him. It was just a little bit too soon. And so I think that is going to hinder the case if they ever do arrest him again, unless they get more information. But I think that's going to hinder the case eventually if he were to ever face trial or whatever. But I feel like this is, and again, the Knight of Cups, this is a kind of a relationship card. So I think that it's involving an extramarital affair on Tom's side. And this is the Knight. So I've already pulled the Page of Cups. So this is the Knight of Cups. So could Carol, or I don't know why I said Carol, but could Anne and Anne-Elisabeth, could she have been also having an affair? There's that possibility as well. So we could have 2 people here that were seeing other people outside of the marriage, but I think it was Tom's that caused chaos. And Tom is the one that is in charge of this group of people. This is literally the same card. It's wands. So he's the one that's running the show. He's the one behind it. So he is, to me, the one that's behind this situation. But he has covered his tracks. We can't see. Look at how this card is cut off. We can't see who's throwing the wands. We can't see where they're coming from. It's literally cut off. We only see this side. So literally that is like a card telling me that he covered his tracks so well. He might actually get away with this. But then again, I just remembered that this card came out reversed, and so I take that back. He might not. Let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, let me just ask. Will Tom get away with this? Will Tom get away with this? The the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I don't think he will, actually. I don't think he will. If you put this hero card upside down next to this reversed Wheel of Fortune, his luck is going to run out eventually. I think that they were a little bit too quick to arrest him, but this tells me that there's a good chance that his luck is running out currently and will continue to run out. I don't think he is going to get away with this. I really don't. That couldn't have been a better card to come out for him. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch decks. Let me go ahead and use this, what is it called? The Beauty of Horror deck. Okay, so this is that new deck that I used last week. And like I said, I haven't used it since then, so I'm still getting to know these cards. But let's just see what comes out here. I want to ask about the location of Anne-Elisabeth. Where is Anne-Elisabeth? Where is Anne-Elisabeth? Okay, let's take these two. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands. The guy's digging a grave. Ace of Swords. The Magician. That's not good. The Death card. Six of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands again. Okay, so I will say that I don't believe that Anne-Elisabeth is still alive. We've literally got the Death card. We've got that Ace of Swords. Oops, the Ace of Swords is reversed. So that is the act itself. That's whatever happened to her, in my opinion. That's the way I see it. And with this particular deck, and this is kind of an interesting deck to use for crime cases, we've got the sword is covered with blood. Okay, so, and the crown looks like the sword is in the crown. So I feel like the sword is indicating that a person, in this case, by rights, Anne-Elisabeth was a queen, right? She deserved the same title as her husband. That was an equal marriage, although she wasn't treated as such. She deserves that crown. She deserves to be queen. She put in her 40 years and she worked right alongside her husband, and marriages are supposed to be equal. So I look at that crown as hers, okay, what was rightfully hers, and I look at that as his hand causing that devastation. And so I do feel like it is what happened to her, and it's not good. And I do feel like Tom is the magician. And that's a good card to represent him here, because he has been like a magician. He's been able to cover his tracks. He's been able to hide things secretly using, secret code and the cryptocurrency, and just the way he was able to create this whole thing was really like it was very tricky. It was like the trick of an eye, right? Okay, so this is definitely him, but that's what it is. That's all it is a trick. It's a facade. Okay, it's not real. He is behind this. He's made these things up. All right, there's something behind the curtain that he can't hide forever. All right, there's secrets there. So I do believe that he is the one behind this situation. He's the one calling the shots. He's the one over the other people that are involved. So there's definitely other people involved, but he is the one in charge. And it did cause her death. Okay, so, and I do believe that he is responsible for that. Let me see here. We've got a head. All right. And we've got the Six of Swords, so we've got traveling. We also had the Eight of Cups, and I don't know if I went over that Eight of Cups, but we had the Eight of Cups in my Heaven and Earth deck, and that's leaving, that's moving, putting behind. We've also got another leaving card. We've got a boat. We've got three people, okay? We've got leaving something, traveling, movement. And although it isn't a chariot, I do feel like she was moved, okay? She was transported someplace. And this also reminds me of that Eight of Swords. Taken someplace against her will. Taken someplace, attacked, killed, taken someplace I think she was actually taken someplace first, okay, and then attacked and later killed because, and I say that in that order because of the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords tells me that she was taken somewhere against her will. And then wherever she was taken, which was away, okay, away from that area, that is what happened. That is when it happened, whatever happened. But I do feel like she has been moved, okay, and this is at least 2 people involved in the movement. Maybe 3. We've got a son over here, right? We've got a child. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the children are involved in this, to be honest with you. I keep getting little hints and clues that we're looking at a son potentially involved in this situation. Like I said, I don't know if the children or child or children have come out in favor of or against their father in this, but I feel like we have a child here involved as well, and he may not be involved in it like as in helping his father per se, but it might be helping with cover up, or he knows about it or something. But I feel like there is a child that is at the very least aware of what has occurred or what has happened to his mother, and is protecting his father, whether it be because he just is protecting his father, or it could be because he's involved. He's had a hand in whatever happened. Okay, so there's something weird going on there with a child. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Again, we've got a grave site. He's literally digging a grave. And then we also have a head injury. So I just noticed that up there. We have a head injury. I actually feel like with the sword coming out bloody like that, there could have been an injury to her head, something along those lines. I don't like usually to be graphic like that, but it just, I don't know. I just noticed it. I'm looking at it in the camera here, and that was what I was staring at, so I thought I'd mention it. But I do think that she was buried. I think she was taken somewhere. I don't think it's anywhere near the home. All right, so let me go ahead and ask if we are ever going to find Anne-Elisabeth. It's Anne-Elisabeth. So where can we find her? Where can we find her? Where can we find her? Where can we find Anne-Elisabeth? Put my reversals in here. Okay. Let's see what we got. We have the Fool reversed. So reckless behavior. That's Six of Cups again. The Ace of Swords again. Oh, let me pull that one. That was sticking out. The Eight of Swords. Okay, this is still her. So she, and I'm asking about where she is. Where can we find her? The Knight of Swords. Okay, this is the attack itself. So we have it in order. We have what happened. We have taking her, right? And then we have the actual attack. So she was definitely, I don't know where she was at the time when she went missing. I feel like she was at home. She was at home, and this person came in and took her and perhaps injured her, maybe hit her or something like that, but took her, and then the attack happened that ended up ending her life. Okay, where are you? Where are you? Yeah. So that ended up ending her life. You've got that 3 again, 3 of Pentacles. So the Justice card. All right, and I'm glad that the Justice card came out upright. I don't necessarily know if she is going to be found. I wouldn't be surprised if she is eventually because of the Justice card coming out on that particular question. But I actually, for real, absolute, without a doubt, well, I shouldn't say that, but I absolutely feel that Tom will not get away with this. He will not get away with this. I think that the police are working diligently to figure out what happened. It's very hard because he was a magician. He covered his tracks really, really well. And he has money, and so he can hire as many people as he needs. He can pay them whatever he wants. And so he just had the means, the motive, and the opportunity to do everything. And it's been hard for, I believe, the police to figure this out, but I do think that they will. They're working on it, and I think that they will. Okay, he won't get away with that, and I say that because of this card and because of that Wheel of Fortune reversed. And what was the other card? The other card that came out that made me feel like this was not something that he was going to get away with. Balance will be restored. This is another card that makes me feel like she could potentially be found eventually. I don't know when that's going to be, but she could potentially be found. We've got the home, okay, and we've got 3 people. So at least 3 people. I think that there's 3 people at the heart of this. At the heart of this. Not necessarily 3 people involved in the crime, but 3 people at the heart of what took place. And that to me is Anne and Tom, and a third party, and that's where that relationship comes in. Okay, that is the trigger. That's the catalyst that started it. That's why it's below that ace. It's the catalyst that started this whole mess. It was reckless behavior on Tom's part. Okay, this is Tom just doing whatever he wants, not thinking of the consequences, because he can always figure a way out, right? He has money. He does whatever he wants, not thinking about how it's going to affect other people in his life. So I actually feel like he got into a situation that ended up, ruining his family, so to speak. And I also feel like this card here, the Fool, when it's reversed, it is kind of recklessness to me. It also makes me feel like there was a little bit of, she knew something was going on, but didn't expect this. I think with the High Priestess coming out, it tells me that she knew something was going on with her husband and possibly another female. And she had suspicions about that, but she never expected it to go to this extreme. This was something that she didn't see coming. This was out of the blue. Like, she may have expected maybe fighting money with a divorce, or, fighting over finances or something along those lines. She might have expected little troubles like that, like normal. I don't want to say normal, but she didn't see this coming. She did not see this coming. This was completely out of the blue, and it was because of his actions. And then again, we have this home card. So when I'm asking the question, where is she? We have a home. And this is the 6, right? The 6 of Cups. This is nostalgia. This is memories. This is childhood, looking back on the good times, looking back on things like that. So good memories. So is this meaning the home? Is she near the home? Because, that's right above the Judgment card. And we have skeletons. We have coffins down here, right? So I have to wonder if there's something here saying that she's closer to home than what we think. She could potentially be closer to home than what we think. A home, okay? There could be closer to a home that is meaningful for her or to her. And I would say 40 years married to Tom, and that's their home. If that's the home that they've been in for 40 years, that's her home. To me, that would be her home. So I do think she was taken somewhere, right? But there's something important about the house that is going to put the police in the right direction. So I don't know if they've done a search on the property. I don't know how much property they own. I don't know if they've searched in every crevice or crack, but I feel like there is something of importance that would be able to help them with this case. It would help them, it would put them in the right direction. It could be even evidence. It could be clothing. It could be something. I don't necessarily... We've got that travel card, though. I'm still thinking. I'm thinking about that Six of Swords. But that Six of Swords came out reversed, didn't it? I think that Six of Swords came out reversed. I believe it did. I can't remember if it came out reversed or not. But we have movement. We have travel. But then we have home. Do they own another home? Is there a second home that they own? Do they have a vacation home? I don't know. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know if they have a different home or a second home or, like I said, a vacation home that maybe she was taken to, but I feel like she is. There's something about this house that's special. Okay, I just don't know what house that is. I don't know if it's their marriage home, if it's her childhood home, but there's something, and I don't think it's that. There's something about, I think, their home as a couple that holds some key evidence inside of it that would help the cops, and it would help lead them to her, okay? Because, and I say that, I don't think it's anything like evidence for a trial. Like, I literally think whatever is in that home would lead them to her, okay? Literally to her. So, let me see, and then we have, okay. Okay, so I just want to kind of get a feeling for what Tom is thinking, or his energy currently, like right now. What is Tom thinking? What is he planning? Is he, I don't know. I want to see what's going on with Tom. Is Tom in a relationship right now? Because that's what that is. Okay, so not the card I expected to see, to be honest with you, for a man whose wife has been missing for 3 or 4 years. So, and this card doesn't always represent a relationship to me. It can be a friendship, it can be a union of some sorts, it can be just two people that truly care about one another. But 9 times out of 10, it's a relationship. And so it's, it's early in the relationship. It's the two. They just met. They're just starting their journey together. They're just beginning their journey, okay? Is this that Ace of Pentacles reversed? Is this the relationship that ruined everything in this marriage? Because, like I said, I wouldn't expect this to come out. When I'm asking about Tom's current energy, I would expect something like the Nine of Swords or, something along those lines, but the Two of Cups comes out. So Tom, his current mindset is on a relationship of sorts. Okay, what else is Tom doing right now? All right, so we've got the Five of Wands, and to me, usually this card is an action card, but it's my After Tarot deck, and I chose the After Tarot deck intentionally to ask what Tom is doing now, because it's after the event. It's after everything has taken place. He's even been arrested, for crying out loud. So it's a good deck to look at the after effects, right? So we know the Five of Wands is, bickering, arguing, whatever, competitiveness. But this is after the fight. This is the cooling off period. The fight's over. They're done. They're resting. They've put up, they're done, right? So and this is really perfect for the situation here. The act itself is done. Tom's still holding the wand in the middle, though. He's still the one in charge. Okay, but everybody has completed their role. And he's still trying to figure out how he can deal with this. And in the meantime, he's enjoying himself. What else is Tom doing? Yeah, he's enjoying himself and he's happy. We've got the Empress, okay? So very interesting set of cards coming out for Tom right now. This is interesting. Oh my God, okay. So we've got a couple of things with the Empress. We've got, this could be Anne-Elisabeth, right? And it's coming out reversed because she's no longer there. Okay, and this is just the events that took place, the act, and it's over with, and it resulted with the mother, the matriarch of the home, Anne-Elisabeth, not being there anymore. Okay, or sometimes the Empress can be referred to as a pregnancy, right? It's that feminine energy. So and it's coming out with this, okay? So is there something going on with a female involved with Tom? And is there a pregnancy, or was there a pregnancy? Whatever it is, it did not go through. It didn't happen. So there could have been a pregnancy, but for whatever reason, it did not occur, okay? Whether she had a miscarriage or if she had an abortion, I don't know, but it didn't happen. This also makes me think of that Ace of Pentacles reversed as well, because it was something that was given, like a pregnancy. It could be a pregnancy now that I'm thinking back on it. It was something that was given by the universe, by God, and it would have been something new, okay? It would have been a new path. It would have been a new life path, right? But it was reversed, and so it didn't happen. And now I'm starting to wonder if there was a pregnancy involved and it didn't go through for whatever reason. Didn't happen. So dealing with that, resting, okay, supporting this person, being in a relationship, comforting. What else is Tom doing here? Yeah, he's worried. He is focused on this relationship. I actually believe that this Empress is both of those. I believe it stands for Anne-Elisabeth no longer being in the picture, and I believe that whoever this female is, this female that caused all of this chaos and heartache in this marriage, and all of this friction in this marriage, it also represents her. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So how interesting. That's all I'm going to draw on him right now, because I feel like that says it all. This is what is going on in his mind right now. I don't see anything here about devastation or hurt or sadness or pain or anything. Like, he's literally soaking it up. Remember, this is the After Tarot deck. So this night, he's not only traveling to his destination, he's actually drinking from his chalice. Like, he's enjoying his water now. He's not just holding it out. And so that tells me that Tom is literally basking in the lifestyle that he has created. Okay, he is literally enjoying it. I mean, he's hugging her here, he's enjoying his water down here, so he is sitting back and he is enjoying and relaxing this situation. I don't see any worry or anything. I don't even see any worry for himself. And it could just be arrogance. It could be that Emperor coming through, that arrogance of, they'll never get me. They'll never get me. They'll never be able to trace anything back to me. I've covered my tracks too damn well. So there's a little bit of arrogance, I think, that's coming out here as well because of that Emperor, especially with the Emperor being reversed. And so I think that he is a little overconfident, because with that Wheel of Fortune, his luck is going to run out. His luck isn't going to last forever. Okay, his luck isn't going to last forever, and karma's going to come in, because we've got that Judgment. Okay, we've got the Judgment card that tells me that, let's ask, how is this case going to end? How is this case going to end? What's going on here? We've got judgment. I say karma, and I think law, because we've got judgment. We've got the justice card. We've got the wheel of fortune. So those are the cards that are making me feel that way. But I think in his mind, he's okay. He's safe because of his arrogance. Okay, so let me go ahead and the outcome going to be in this case? What is the outcome? Okay, let's take this one here. Temperance. Reversed. Okay. To me, with the temperance being reversed, even I look at that as, even if the justice system does make an arrest and they prove that Tom had something to do with his wife's disappearance and or potential death, it's somewhat of a restoration of balance, but not. It's a bittersweet moment because Anne-Elisabeth is still not here. Okay, so it's almost like a bittersweet. And I do believe that, because I really believe with the cards that have come out already that he is going to eventually run out of luck, like I said. And you would expect in that case for the temperance to come out upright. But I don't think it is, simply because it's not restoring everything. Like I said, Anne-Elisabeth is still not here. I don't know if they have grandchildren together, but there's still a missing person here. We have the death card reversed. That Six of Cups. That Six of Cups has come out 3 times. There's something about that house. This house here is important for some reason. This house is important. And this is coming out a couple times now too. The Six of Wands reversed. That's him. That's his facade of him being a hero, this man, this powerful person. That's that crumbling down. Yeah, judgment. Okay, we've got judgment. We're getting the same cards at this point. We've got the Five of Wands reversed. This is unbelievable. King of Wands. Let's pull one more. Hangman. All right. So this is incredible. There's something about that house, guys. There's something important in the home. Something that is going to bring him down. Okay, I do believe that he is going to be taken down. I do. And somewhat balance restored. Okay, judgment. I pulled the judgment next to the Six of Cups earlier because I said I felt like there was something going on with, her being found. There's something about the house. And so now we've got the same set coming up again. They didn't come out side by side, but they came out in the same pull. So there could be potentially something, and the reason why it's coming out reversed is because they haven't found it yet. They just haven't found it yet. I do believe that there is something in the home or around the home, the property of the home. There's something. And this is also, again, I look at this sometimes when I see this, especially with this deck, children. Is there something with a child? Is there a child? Okay, Anne-Elisabeth and Tom. Is there a child that knows more than what they are potentially he is saying? Okay, is there something that he can provide, or is there something in the house that leads to a piece of information that they'll be able to use to locate her? Okay, they have not found it yet though, but when they do, that's when this can turn around. Okay, so I think that's why it but regardless, he's going down. To me, he's going down. And then right below that, we have the King of Wands. So I think that this is their home. Okay, I think that's Tom, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tom's still staying there. We've got the Death card, we've got the Temperance. So the Death card to me is card reversed. It's interesting that I've got the Death card reversed and I've got the Hangman. So it's like things aren't moving quickly. It's like they're at an impasse or something. I don't know if they're at an impasse in the investigation or if they have come up against some sort of stone wall or what it is, but there's something here that is preventing them from, I don't know if it's just the fact that they have not found her, Anne, or what, but there's something here preventing them from moving forward in this case. Okay, that's how I perceive both of these cards together. But I don't think that it's going to go on like that forever. I think that they will get this piece of information that they need to move forward. I believe that they will move forward, and it's going to be kind of like the beginning of the end for Tom. Okay, that's his death. That's going to be his death. It hasn't happened yet, though. Hasn't happened yet, so we're still in the process of it. In the meantime, he's just hanging out and doing his stuff. He's just enjoying his time. He's got his Two of Cups girlfriend there, and he's living life, and he's drinking from the chalice, and so that might indicate a little bit of celebration and partying. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we pulled the Three of Cups as well, but it was reversed, so that could represent, that could even go with that Empress being pregnant. So I definitely feel like there was an extramarital relationship. Okay, this woman that I believe was seeing Tom, or Tom was seeing her, could have been a pregnancy involved, but it led to there's something about Tom, but why go to that extreme? Why not get divorced? You know, one thing that hasn't really come up in this reading a lot for me is money. I mean, we're talking about people that are billionaires, okay? Money hasn't really been a whole big thing. So the motive has got to be more, but look at all the wands. I mean, I've seen a lot of wands, I've seen a lot of fire. So we've got passion. I'm seeing more of a crime of passion than I am anything to do with money or finances. Emotions, passion. Let me just ask really quick, and then I'll end this reading. But I want to know motive. I want to know motive. Why not just get divorced? If you're having an affair and you're, you know, I mean, why not just get divorced? Motive. What was the motive? King of Swords. Work. Money. Money finally came out. Was he afraid to lose his business? Is that what it was? Not necessarily money per se, but this is something that he worked hard for. He was shrewd, okay? He put in his hard work and sweat too, okay? This is something that was his everything, his company or his companies. He put in a lot of effort into creating what he created. Was that at stake of being lost? Was there something more to do with the company? Not necessarily worried about humiliation or embarrassment or anything, but I'm wondering if maybe they were to divorce. Would that affect his company? Could he potentially lose his company or a portion of his company or something, and that was just absolutely that was not acceptable to him. He was not going to allow that to happen. This is a work card. This is a detailed card as well. I feel like there's a lot of things that when I look at this card, he's focused, okay? He's very detail oriented. You can see his progress, Okay, he's very determined, very detail oriented, very detail oriented, very detail oriented. Something in the details. There was something in the details. Something in the details that I think could have affected his company. I think that that was what he was more concerned about. The relationship was an afterthought. I mean, the relationship was there. This extramarital relationship was there. But the real concern for him was the business side of things. There was something in the details in the paperwork. I don't know if they had prenuptial agreements. I'm not sure about any of that, but there's something to me in the details that would have really could have potentially affected his business and his company or companies. And that was just, I mean, look at that. That's just not something that he's going to put up with. That's just not something that he's okay with. And that is when his shrewd and crude self came out. He just was not going to do that. So I feel like we have a couple of different things at play here. Yes, it's kind of financial, but it's not so much as the money per se. It's just the idea of something that he worked hard to achieve, and he wasn't going to just hand it over or lose it or anything like that because of a divorce potentially. And so then if you add in, I mean, obviously the divorce would be as a result of an affair. Okay, so I guess the affair comes first. And I think even before the affair, there were some signs that things weren't as what they were, but I really do get that prior to that, things were okay. But I say that because of this hierarchy situation, because I feel like he was always in control. He's coming out to me as being an ass. Okay, with that emperor reversed, he's an ass. He comes out as controlling. It's got to be his way. It's got to, he's got to approve the finances, or he's got to do this, or he's got to do that. So I feel like he really held a lot of control over Anne-Elisabeth. But for the most part, she was accepting of that. She dealt with it. And they had a somewhat normal and decent and happy lifestyle based on the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles and those early cards that came out. It wasn't until this relationship that came into his life that things started to go south. And so from there, it led to potential problems in the marriage, to potentially a divorce, and then this. Okay, and so, and Tom is not coming out as a very good person, period, to me, at all. But I do feel like there is going to be some justice in this case. I do feel like Tom is going to, like I said, his luck is going to run out, and, it'll be a bittersweet end, because I don't believe that Anne-Elisabeth is still here. But it'll be a bittersweet end, and there'll be some justice. Okay, for people that loved her and cared about her. I'm a little bit confused about the son that keeps coming up. So I'm going to continue to watch out for this case, and if anything comes up with any of the children, if they knew about it, or if one of them helped his dad to cover up something, I'll be curious to see if anything like that comes out, because that one is throwing me a little bit. I do think that there's multiple people involved in this. But anyway, that's the reading for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you again for suggesting the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you later on in the week. Have a good one. Bye.